The day has carried enough for now, and this late spring evening asks you to set every unfinished list aside. You are standing beneath a small roofed shelter at the edge of a bluebell wood, where an oak boardwalk begins among mossy stones. Farther in, warm amber windows mark a weaving cottage beneath deep green eaves. The air is mild, the way ahead is clear, and a linen bed is waiting in a quiet room under the roof. You can allow your shoulders to settle while the last pale light rests between the trees. If you'd like another quiet place to return to on a future night, you're always welcome to subscribe. For a moment, you remain beneath the shelter and listen. Leaves brush together high above. A narrow brook moves somewhere beyond the ferns, and one shaded lantern gives a steady glow beside the boardwalk. None of these sounds asks for close attention. They simply show that the woodland has found its evening rhythm, and that you have arrived at a place where every next step has already been made simple. The shelter is built from oak posts and a low moss-green roof. A smooth bench runs along its back wall. You sit long enough to feel the day loosen its hold, with your feet resting on broad gray stones and your light coat still comfortable around your shoulders. The wood behind you retains a trace of afternoon warmth. A clean scent of leaves and flax drifts from the direction of the cottage, mild enough to notice and easy to let pass. On the bench beside you rests a palm-sized oak shuttle. One bluebell has been carved into its center, no larger than the print of a thumb. The cottage weaver leaves a shuttle here for each evening guest, a simple marker that follows the path and later finds its place beside the bed. You lift it into your right hand. The oak is smooth along both pointed ends, and the shallow carved flower gives your thumb an easy shape to trace. Beyond the shelter, the boardwalk begins with one wide step. It rises only a little above the woodland floor, keeping the route dry where faint mist gathers among the ferns. A rail follows the right side. Small hooded lamps stand at generous intervals, their amber light directed downward toward the boards. Between them, the remaining blue of the evening is enough to show the whole easy way ahead. You stand, feeling the bench release your weight without a sound. The shuttle fits into the right pocket of your coat, where its smooth wooden edge rests against the cloth. A low gate closes the shelter from the path. Its latch lifts easily. You pass through, return the latch to its notch, and place one hand on the rounded oak rail as you take the first unhurried step into the wood. Bluebells spread beneath the trees on both sides of the boardwalk. Their color has deepened with dusk, gathering in low pools of blue between moss-green roots. The flowers remain below the rail, leaving the path open and orderly. Some face the last light between the trunks, while others bow over their narrow stems. You do not need to count them or follow where one patch ends. Their color simply accompanies the path. The boards are broad, dry, and nearly level. Each step makes a low note that settles before the next one comes. Underneath, the woodland floor is soft with last year's leaves, fresh moss, and small gray stones. A thread of mist lies close to the ground without reaching the boardwalk. It moves so slowly that it seems less like weather and more like another pale layer among the ferns. Ahead, the cottage appears and disappears between oak trunks as the path makes broad curves. Its walls are pale stone below and honey-colored timber above. The roof is covered in deep green shingles that echo the moss along the path. Two amber windows face the wood, and a third glows beneath the upper eaves. Nothing about the cottage is bright. Its light is simply warm enough to promise shelter. The brook comes closer on the left. Soon you can see it moving between low banks, narrow enough to cross in a few steps and shallow enough to reveal smooth stones beneath the surface. Water slips around those stones in a continuous, rounded murmur. It never hurries. Where the stream bends near the boardwalk, one amber lamp leaves a quiet reflection that lengthens and shortens with the current. You walk at the pace that feels natural. The rail is smooth beneath your palm, with a few shallow marks where weather has softened the grain. Every several steps, a square post supports it. The repeated shape gives the journey an easy measure without turning it into something you need to track. Post, open rail, post again. Between them, bluebells and moss continue beneath the trees. The day behind you becomes less detailed. Rooms, messages, small decisions, and unfinished plans can remain beyond the woodland shelter. Nothing from there has followed you onto this boardwalk. Here, the next lamp is already lit, the next curve is visible, and the cottage windows remain in front of you. The path offers only one direction, and it leads steadily toward warmth. A few leaves move overhead. Their sound is soft and dry, held high in the branches rather than near your face. The air below remains still. Bluebell stems barely stir. The faint ground mist stays among the roots, and the brook keeps the same low note beside you. Even the woodland's small changes return quickly to a familiar pattern. The boardwalk crosses the brook on a short oak span. Its rails rise slightly, then level again on the far side. You pause at the center, not because the route requires it, but because the water is pleasant to watch. Clear current folds around a flat stone, gathers in a small dark pool, and moves on beneath a curtain of fern. The lamp reflection breaks into amber pieces and joins again downstream. Your hand finds the shuttle through the cloth of your pocket. Its shape is simple and reassuring. One smooth point, a fuller center, and another smooth point. The carved bluebell rests between. It belongs to the cottage ahead, yet it already carries the feeling of a familiar object. You leave it safely in your pocket and continue across the last few boards of the bridge. On the far bank, the path begins a gradual turn through younger oaks. Their trunks are slimmer, and the space between them opens toward the cottage. A low stone wall appears beneath the bluebells, no more than 2 courses high. It marks the edge of a small clearing without closing anything away. The boardwalk follows the wall, then widens into a landing before the front door. The weaving cottage stands quietly in the clearing. Pale stone forms the lower walls, each block rounded at the corners. Above, oak beams frame panels of warm cream plaster. The deep green roof slopes low over the doorway, sheltering a bench and 2 hooks for coats. A small wooden sign bears the same single bluebell carved into your shuttle. There are no words to read and no instructions to remember. The weaver waits beneath the eaves. They wear a moss-green apron over a cream linen shirt, and their hands rest loosely at their sides. A calm nod is enough to welcome you. They do not ask about the road or the hour. Instead, they open the pale oak door and step aside, leaving a wide, amber path into the entry room. Before going in, you look once across the clearing. The boardwalk lies pale among the bluebells, its lamps making a soft line back toward the shelter. The brook can still be heard, though the low stone wall hides most of the water. Beyond the trees, the sky is becoming an even blue. The route has brought you exactly where it promised, and there is no reason to look farther. You cross the flat stone threshold. Warm air carries the clean scent of flax, oak, and chamomile from somewhere deeper in the cottage. The weaver closes the door behind you. The brook becomes softer, while the brushing leaves remain only a faint texture beyond the walls. Inside, the gentle wooden rhythm of a loom travels down from the floor above. One treadle, one passing shuttle, one quiet return. The entry room is simple and well-ordered. A woven runner begins at the door and leads toward an open archway. 3 oak pegs stand along the wall, with a low bench beneath them. A shaded lamp makes a modest amber circle over the hooks. The stone floor is smooth, and the walls hold only 2 small lengths of cloth, one blue and one cream, displayed without frames. You take the shuttle from your pocket before removing your coat. The wood has warmed against the fabric. It fits comfortably in your right palm while you settle the coat on an empty peg. Without that light layer, the cottage feels comfortably warm. You sit on the bench and loosen your shoes a little, letting the walk through the wood come fully to rest before moving farther inside. From the bench, you can see through the archway into a room lined with shelves. Covered bowls and stoppered glass jars rest there in neat groups. Their contents show muted colors: blue from dried petals, green from leaves, cream from flax, and warm brown from bark. This is the natural dye room, prepared for tomorrow's work and nearly finished with the tasks of today. The weaver waits without watching you closely. They lift a small lamp from the wall and carry it through the archway. You stand when you are ready, keeping the oak shuttle in your right hand. Your shoes remain comfortable for now. The woven runner continues beneath the arch, making the easiest route clear across the stone floor. In the dye room, every vessel is cool and still. 2 wide basins stand on a long oak counter, empty and dry. Several wooden spoons hang from hooks above them. Folded cloths are stacked near a shallow sink, each one clean and square. No steam rises, and no work remains unfinished. The room has the settled feeling of a place that has completed its day in the proper order. Low shelves hold skeins of linen thread. Some are cream, some carry a bluebell tint, and a few are moss green. Each skein has been wound into an easy oval and tied with a short strip of plain cloth. Their colors are softened rather than bright. Under the amber lamp, blue becomes deeper, green becomes warmer, and cream takes on the quiet shade of oats. You move along the counter at an unhurried pace. The stone beneath your fingertips is smooth and cool. One basin has a faint ring of blue near its rim, left by many careful batches of thread. The mark is not a stain that needs attention. It is simply a record of color passing through the room, settling into linen, and continuing upstairs toward the loom. The weaver sets the lamp beside a covered basket. Inside, several clean linen bundles wait for morning. They lift one corner of the cloth only long enough to show the pale thread beneath, then cover it again. The gesture is quiet and complete. Nothing here needs to be measured, mixed, or finished tonight. You are free to notice the room without becoming responsible for it. At the far wall, a narrow window faces the brook. Its lower pane is open by a few inches. Mild evening air enters there, bringing the water's low murmur and the clean scent of moss. A linen curtain hangs motionless at one side. The ground mist remains below the sill, and the amber room stays comfortably separate from the blue woodland outside. The loom rhythm from upstairs reaches this room through oak beams. A treadle lowers with a padded wooden note. A shuttle passes once. The frame returns to stillness. After a restful pause, the sequence begins again. The sound is not fast enough to invite counting. It simply suggests that one last piece of cloth is finding its final rose before the cottage settles for the night. You turn the small oak shuttle over in your hand. Unlike the larger working shuttle upstairs, this one carries no thread. It is a room marker and a keepsake of the path. The carved bluebell has 4 simple petals around a shallow center. Your thumb can circle the flower, follow the grain toward one point, and return along the opposite edge without looking. A blue skein rests alone on a small tray. The weaver touches its cloth tie, then gestures toward the staircase beyond the shelves. This is the thread prepared for the short linen band you may weave upstairs. The task is optional, already arranged, and limited to a few slow passes. It has a clear beginning and a clear end, with every part ready before you arrive. The weaver takes the skein from the tray. You follow the runner toward the staircase. Before leaving the dye room, you glance once at the aligned basins, the covered basket, and the quiet shelves. Their order is easy to remember. Stone below, oak counter, muted thread, amber light. The room can remain exactly as it is until morning. The staircase rises beside an interior stone wall. Its steps are broad and shallow, with an oak rail on the right. A small landing turns beneath a square window, then the stairs continue under the slope of the roof. The weaver goes one step ahead, carrying the lamp and the blue thread. You place your free hand on the rail and begin to climb. The polished wood feels warm. Each step meets your foot evenly. As you rise, the dye room settles below and the loom rhythm becomes clearer. The treadle gives a low tone. Linen threads shift with a dry whisper. The working shuttle slides through, pauses, and returns. These sounds remain contained within the wooden frame, never sharp and never sudden. At the landing, the square window shows the bluebell clearing from a higher view. The boardwalk lamps make a modest curve among the trees. The shelter is hidden now, but you know where it rests beyond the first bend. The brook appears as one narrow silver-gray line. Above it, the faint mist lies close to the ferns, leaving the cottage and path entirely clear. You pause beside the window. The shuttle in your palm has the same warm oak color as the stair rail. The carved bluebell echoes the flowers below, though both are becoming simpler in the deepening blue light. Nothing outside is changing quickly. Evening is only settling one shade at a time, allowing each familiar shape to soften without disappearing. The upper stairs lead to a wide room beneath exposed beams. The weaving loft stretches across most of the cottage, yet it feels sheltered by the low green roof. 2 looms stand several feet apart. One is quiet and covered with a cream cloth. The other holds a nearly finished length of blue and cream linen, its frame lit by a shaded amber lamp. The weaver places the lamp on a wall shelf and sets the blue skein beside the working loom. Then they sit on the broad bench and complete the pass you have been hearing. 1 foot lowers a treadle. The threads open into 2 even layers. A long oak shuttle travels through the space between them and settles into the opposite hand. The frame closes with a cushioned wooden note. The motion is slower than it sounded from below. Each part waits for the one before it to finish. Foot, opening thread, passing shuttle, closing frame, and a quiet press that brings the new row into place. There is no hurry to reach the edge of the cloth. The loom seems designed to give every gesture enough room. You stand a comfortable distance away and watch 2 more rows settle. The linen has a simple pattern, a broad cream field crossed by narrow blue lines. Under the amber lamp, the colors are restful and muted. The cloth falls over the front beam in a smooth length, already complete enough to show its purpose. It may become a curtain or a bed runner later, but tonight it needs no decision. The weaver stops at the end of a blue line. The long shuttle is placed in its cradle. A small wooden pin secures the treadle, and the loom becomes still. The final movement is the folding of a linen cloth over the bench. Once that is done, the room's main rhythm gives way to quieter sounds. The brook below the window and leaves brushing high over the roof. At the opposite side of the loft stands a smaller table loom. It is no wider than your shoulders and holds a short cream warp already prepared. A cushioned stool waits before it. Beside the frame rest a small bobbin of blue thread, a blunt wooden beater, and an empty cradle shaped for the oak shuttle in your hand. The weaver brings the shaded lamp closer. Its light falls over the little loom without brightening the entire loft. You sit on the stool and place both feet on the smooth floor. The frame is at a comfortable height. The cream threads stretch away from you in an even, orderly row, each one held with the same mild tension. You set your oak shuttle in the cradle. It fits exactly, the carved bluebell facing upward. The weaver places the bobbin of blue thread beside it, then demonstrates the small lever that opens 1 layer of warp. The movement needs only the weight of 2 fingers. Half the cream threads rise, half remain still, and a clear passage appears between them. The task has been prepared so that only a few passes are needed. The weaver guides the blue thread through the oak shuttle and leaves a generous tail at the edge. There is nothing complex to remember. Lift the lever, pass the shuttle, return the lever, press the row. Then the opposite movement brings the shuttle back. Each step waits calmly for you. You rest your fingers around the shuttle. The oak is familiar now, warm from the path and the rooms below. When you lift the lever, the cream threads separate with a dry whisper. You guide the shuttle through at an easy pace. It appears on the far side without resistance, carrying 1 blue line across the pale field. The lever returns. You draw the blunt wooden beater toward you until the blue thread rests beside the previous cream row. It does not need to be tight. The prepared frame keeps everything even. You let the beater settle back, change the lever to its opposite position, and pass the shuttle home through the new opening. 2 blue lines now cross the cream linen. They lie close enough to belong together, like the narrow shadows between bluebell stems. You pause with the shuttle in your right hand. The room remains still around the small loom. Nothing urges the next pass. The weaver sits nearby, winding the unused blue skein into a tidy oval without speaking. You continue when the motion feels ready. Lever, opening threads, shuttle crossing, lever returning, row pressed gently into place. The sequence becomes familiar after only a few turns. Your hands do not need to become skilled. They simply follow the simple route already held by the loom, from one side to the other and back again. The shuttle makes a soft wooden note when it touches the frame. Linen whispers as the layers change. The beater moves forward and back. Underneath those close sounds, the brook follows its bed beyond the wall. Far above, leaves brush once across the roofline and become still. Each sound has enough space around it to remain calm. After several blue rows, the weaver offers a small bobbin of moss green thread. You look at it in the lamp glow. Then return your attention to the blue already on the loom. The short band feels complete with the colors it has. No choice is required. The weaver understands, sets the green bobbin beside the larger loom, and leaves your simple pattern unchanged. You add 2 final cream rows using a second prepared shuttle. Cream crosses blue, the beater settles it into place, and the band reaches its marked ending. A narrow wooden strip beneath the warp shows exactly where to stop. You place the cream shuttle beside the frame and rest your hands in your lap. The task has ended without becoming work. The finished band is no longer than your forearm. Its center is cream, with a modest group of blue lines near each end. The edges are straight because the loom has held them for you. The weaver loosens one bar, slides the linen free, and ties the prepared ends with 2 small cream knots. No scissors or sharp tools are needed. They place the band across your open hands. It is lighter than it looked on the frame. The linen feels cool and slightly textured, with the blue rows raised just enough to notice beneath a fingertip. You fold it once, then again, making a small square that fits easily into your left hand. Your oak shuttle rests empty in its cradle. You lift it with your right hand. The carved flower and the woven blue lines now belong to the same quiet memory of the loft. One object marked the route. The other holds a few simple movements. Both are complete, and neither asks anything more from you. The weaver covers the small loom with a pale cloth. The lever returns to its middle position. The bobbins go into a shallow drawer, and the stool is placed beneath the frame. Across the room, the larger loom remains secured at the end of its blue line. The loft is ready to become still. Before leaving, you walk toward a low window beneath the eaves. A broad sill offers a place to rest your folded linen band. Outside, the bluebell wood has deepened into moss green and blue-gray. The boardwalk lamps remain low among the trees. The brook is more easily heard than seen, a smooth line of sound below the window. The weaver opens the upper pane by a few inches. Cool, mild air enters, carrying the scent of leaves rather than dampness. It moves lightly over the linen in your hand and across the cream threads of the covered loom. Nothing flutters. The room simply receives a small measure of evening before the pane is returned to its narrow resting place. You stand there for a little while. The cottage's path can be recalled in one uncomplicated line: shelter, boardwalk, entry, dye room, stairs, and weaving loft. Each space remains behind you in good order. The shelter gate is latched. Your coat rests on its peg. The dye basins are dry. The large loom is secured. The short band is folded in your hand. The weaver lifts the lamp and gestures toward a door at the far end of the loft. Beyond it lies a covered porch built beneath the long slope of the roof. You follow across the smooth oak floor, carrying the folded band in your left hand and the shuttle in your right. The loft lamp is turned down, leaving its beams in restful shadow. The porch door opens without a creak. Outside, a deep roof shelters broad wooden boards and a long bench against the stone chimney wall. The porch faces the brook and the older trees beyond it. Two low lamps sit at either end, shaded so their amber light remains close to the bench. The air is mild enough that the stone has kept a little warmth. You step out and the weaver closes the door behind you. The loom room becomes a quiet interior glow through the glass. From the porch, the woodland sounds find a balanced distance. The brook is clear but low. Leaves move high above. Somewhere near the boardwalk, one wooden post settles with a small dry note. Then everything returns to its even rhythm. You sit on the bench. The stone wall supports your back, and the seat is broad enough to let your hands rest beside you. You place the folded linen band on your left knee and the shuttle on your right. Their blue details are muted under the porch lamp. The carved flower is almost the same shade as the woven lines. The brook curves through the clearing below. Pale stones show beneath its surface where the water is shallow. Ferns lean over one bank, their edges softened by the faint ground mist. The mist does not rise. It remains low among the stems, leaving the porch, path, and cottage windows clear beneath the blue night. Across the water, bluebells fill a small opening between the oaks. Their flowers can no longer be seen one by one. They have become a single calm patch of color beneath the darker leaves. This simplification feels suited to the hour. Details may gather together now, becoming larger, quieter shapes that require less attention. The weaver sits at the far end of the bench with their hands folded over the moss-green apron. No conversation is needed. The cottage has already explained itself through the path, the orderly rooms, and the few rows of linen. For several minutes, you both listen to the brook and let the porch hold the pause between activity and rest. The oak shuttle cools slightly beside your hand. You pick it up and trace the bluebell once more. The grain runs lengthwise, from one pointed end through the flower and toward the other. Tiny variations remain beneath the smooth finish. They give the wood a living texture without catching against your skin. The folded band carries a different texture. Its cream threads form a dry, even surface. The blue rows rise gently beneath your thumb, one narrow line beside another. You do not unfold it yet. The small square is complete as it is, holding the calm sequence of movements from the loom without asking you to replay them. Amber light from the porch lamps reaches the nearest boards and stops before the rail. Beyond it, the brook reflects a muted blue sky. The two colors remain separate and restful. Warm shelter close by, cool woodland at a comfortable distance. Moss green lies between them in the roof edge, the ferns, and the weaver's apron. Your breathing can remain entirely natural. The mild air enters and leaves without any special effort. Each time your attention drifts toward the stream, it finds the same rounded murmur. Each time it returns to the bench, it finds the same steady support. The evening offers no test and no decision. After a while, the weaver rises. They turn the farther porch lamp down one step, then open the door to the loft. Warm amber light makes a short path across the boards. You gather the linen band and shuttle, leaving nothing behind on the bench. The pause is complete, and the cottage's next room is already prepared. Inside, the covered looms rest beneath the low beams. You cross the loft without stopping, noticing how quickly the room has become familiar. The small loom is a pale shape beneath its cloth. The larger frame holds its finished linen in shadow. The window remains open by its careful few inches, and the brook continues beyond it. A second staircase descends from the far corner. It is narrower than the main stairs, but still broad and shallow. A blue line painted near the base of the wall follows each step toward the kitchen below. The weaver carries the shaded lamp ahead. You place one hand on the oak rail and begin the easy descent. The linen band stays in your left hand, and the shuttle rests in your right. At the first turn, the scent of chamomile becomes clearer. It is warm and grassy, mixed with the clean sweetness of oats. The kitchen below is quiet. No pans ring and no flame crackles. Only a covered pot rests in a warm alcove beside a low amber lamp. You reach the last step and enter a small room with a round oak table. Two woven mats lie opposite each other. A cream enamel pot stands in the stone alcove, already warmed. Two blue ceramic cups wait beside it, along with a wooden spoon, a small pitcher of oat milk, and a covered bowl of dried chamomile flowers. The kitchen window faces the boardwalk landing. Its glass shows one amber path lamp among the trees. A linen curtain is drawn halfway across, softening the view without hiding it. The stone floor holds the day's warmth, and a faded moss-green rug makes a quiet route from the stairs to the table. You place the folded linen band on the table near one mat. The shuttle rests beside it, Bluebell facing upward. Both objects have a clear place while the simple drink is prepared. The weaver lifts the lid from the chamomile bowl. A mild scent rises, then settles close to the table rather than filling the entire room. The enamel pot contains oat milk, already warm enough for the evening. The weaver pours it into the two cups, leaving space at the top. The sound is soft and smooth. A small cloth pouch holds the chamomile, so no measuring is needed. It is lowered into the cream-colored drink and rests beneath the surface. You sit at the table while the warmth draws the flavor from the flowers. The cup beneath your hands is smooth and rounded. Its blue glaze recalls the bluebells outside and the lines in your folded band. Heat reaches your palms gradually, comfortable rather than strong. The shaded lamp gives the tabletop a small amber circle. There is no need to watch the drink change. The pouch rests quietly in the cup. The weaver folds a clean cloth, aligns the wooden spoon beside the pot, and covers the chamomile bowl again. Each small motion reaches an ending before the next one begins. The room becomes more settled with every object returned to its place. The brook can be heard faintly through the window. Above, the looms are still. Without their wooden rhythm, the cottage has grown quieter, yet the silence does not feel empty. The familiar stream, an occasional leaf against the roof edge, and the soft contact of ceramic on oak are enough to hold the room. After a few minutes, the weaver lifts the chamomile pouch and rests it in a small covered dish. The drink is pale cream with the slightest warm gold tint under the lamp. You raise the cup. A mild scent of flowers and oats reaches you before the first sip, simple and close. The chamomile oat milk is warm, smooth, and lightly sweet from the grain itself. No honey or spice has been added. Its flavor is quiet enough to accompany the room rather than become its center. You take another small sip and return the cup to the woven mat, feeling the warmth remain in your hands. Across the table, the weaver drinks at the same unhurried pace. Nothing is discussed, planned, or explained. The short linen band rests between the two cups, still folded. The oak shuttle lies beside it. In the amber light, these ordinary objects seem to hold the entire route in miniature. Bluebell wood, oak path, cream thread, and a sheltered place to stop. You unfold the band once. The two groups of blue lines appear against the cream field. They are not perfectly identical, and they do not need to be. One group sits a little closer together. The other has a slightly wider cream space between its final rows. The variation shows the easy movement of your hands, then becomes part of the cloth. The weaver slides a small wooden ring across the table. It has been prepared to hold the band in the guest room. You thread one end through the ring and fold it back. A simple woven loop catches it without a knot. The band now hangs in a short, soft curve, ready to rest on the bedpost or beside the window. You place it beside the shuttle again. The ritual has reached its final form. A few linen rows, folded and opened, now held by one smooth ring. Nothing further needs to be added. The loom upstairs can wait for morning, and this little band can travel with you toward the room beneath the eaves. The cup grows lighter with each sip. Warmth spreads gently from your palms and settles without demanding attention. The kitchen's colors remain contained: blue ceramic, moss green rug, amber lamp, and cream linen. The palette has followed you from the woodland without becoming brighter or more complicated indoors. When only a little drink remains, you finish it at your own pace. The cup returns to the mat. The weaver collects both cups and rinses them at the shallow stone sink. Water runs in one narrow stream, then stops. The cups are placed upside down on a folded cloth, and the enamel pot receives its lid. The chamomile pouch rests in its covered dish for morning compost. The wooden spoon returns to its hook. The pitcher is placed in a cool cupboard. One by one, the small objects leave the table until only your woven band and oak shuttle remain in the amber circle. You sit for another moment with empty hands. The evening has asked very little of them. Hold a rail, carry a shuttle, pass it through cream threads, warm around a cup. Each action was small, clear, and complete. Your fingers can loosen now. Your palms can rest against the smooth oak table without preparing for anything else. The weaver turns the kitchen lamp down one step. The blue ceramic cups become darker shapes on the cloth beside the sink. The stone alcove keeps a mild warmth, though the covered pot is still. The cottage is ready for night. Nothing in the dye room, loom room, porch, or kitchen remains open as a task. You stand and collect the linen band in your left hand. The oak shuttle returns to your right. A final staircase rises beyond the kitchen toward the guest room. A small wall lamp is already lit at the first landing, and the painted blue line follows the steps upward beneath the sloping roof. The weaver takes the shaded lamp from the kitchen wall. You follow onto the first broad step. The oak rail is warm and polished. Behind you, the round table remains clear, the cups rest beside the sink, and the enamel pot stays covered in its alcove. The room settles completely as you climb. These stairs rise gradually, turning once beside a narrow window. Through it, the boardwalk landing can still be seen below. Its nearest lamp glows among the bluebells. The faint mist remains close to the woodland floor. Above the trees, the sky is an even deep blue, free of anything that requires watching. The brook reaches you as a softer sound through stone and timber. It seems to belong to the cottage now, a low current held beneath the floors. The leaves are farther away. The loom has become silent. With each step, the world narrows toward the warm room waiting at the top. At the landing, you pause. The band hangs lightly from its wooden ring. Its cream threads are pale in the wall lamp, and the blue rows nearly match the sky beyond the glass. The shuttle in your other hand has cooled slightly. Both objects are ready to be set down. The upper steps pass beneath one broad beam. There is ample room, yet the lower ceiling makes the landing feel sheltered. One door stands beneath the green eaves, painted warm cream with a small bluebell carved into its oak handle. The weaver places the lamp in a wall bracket and opens the door inward. The bedroom is simple, warm, and already familiar in its colors. A linen bed stands beneath the sloping roof. A low window faces the brook. One oak chair rests beside it, and a small table supports a shaded amber lamp. A moss-green rug runs from the door to the bed, leaving every path through the room clear. You step inside. The weaver remains near the doorway while you take in the arrangement. Cream sheets have been turned back over a firm mattress. A blue and cream coverlet lies folded at the foot. Two plain pillows rest beneath an oak headboard, and a smooth peg beside the window waits for the woven band. You cross the rug and hang the wooden ring on the peg. The short linen band falls in a modest curve, its blue rose visible against the cream wall. It has found its place for the night. No longer folded in your hand, it becomes one calm detail beside the window. On the bedside table sits a shallow oak cradle shaped for the shuttle. You place the small wooden marker inside, carved bluebell facing upward. Oak meets oak with a muted note. The shuttle has traveled from the shelter through every room, and now it rests where it belongs. The weaver turns the bedside lamp down until its amber circle reaches only the table, the edge of the pillow, and part of the green rug. They show you a hook behind the door for anything you wish to leave there, then offer one final calm nod. The door is drawn nearly closed without latching, leaving a steady line of landing light beneath it. You are alone in the room, though the cottage remains around you in a reassuring way. The kitchen rests below, the porch faces the brook, the looms stand covered, and the dye room holds its quiet shelves. Every space has completed its part in bringing you here. You place your hands loosely at your sides. The right palm remembers the smooth oak shuttle. The left fingers retain the texture of the linen band. Those faint impressions remain for a little while, then begin to soften. Nothing else needs to be carried. The low window has a broad wooden sill. You walk toward the chair and sit. Its linen seat supports you at an easy angle. Outside, the nearest boardwalk lamp is partly hidden by an oak trunk. The brook shows only as a narrow blue-gray opening between ferns. Bluebells have become one dark, restful patch beneath the trees. The room's sounds are all familiar. Water moves below the window. Leaves brush high beyond the roof. Once, an oak beam gives a small settling note as the cottage cools. Then the known silence gathers again. There is no new sound to identify and no change to follow. You rest your hands in your lap. The route behind you can become simple now. A shelter at the woodland edge, a raised path through blue flowers, a warm cottage door, muted thread on shelves, a loom beneath low beams, a porch above the brook, a round kitchen table, and this quiet room beneath the eaves. Each place remains where you left it. The shelter gate is latched. The boardwalk lamps are steady. Your coat hangs on its oak peg downstairs. The dye basins are dry. The looms are covered. The porch bench is empty. The cups rest upside down beside the sink. Nothing calls you back. You stand from the chair when you are ready. The floorboards are mild beneath your shoes. Near the green rug, a small woven mat offers a comfortable place to sit and remove them. You ease one shoe off, then the other, and set them side by side. These are the last practical movements the evening requires. The oak floor feels smooth and comfortably warm beneath your feet. You cross the rug toward the bed. The coverlet at the foot has a simple pattern of narrow blue lines on cream, similar to the little band beside the window. Its linen surface is cool beneath your fingertips, while the cotton beneath gives it an easy weight. You fold one corner back. The cream sheets are freshly aired and finely woven. A pillow gives gently beneath your hand and returns to its shape. Nothing in the bed needs arranging. You may leave the second pillow where it is and let the turned-back sheet wait until you are ready to settle. The bedside shuttle rests in its cradle. Its carved flower is clear in the low lamp. You trace the shape with your eyes rather than your hand. 4 petals, a shallow center, and oak grain running quietly through them. Beyond it, the woven band hangs beside the window, holding its few blue rows without movement. You sit on the edge of the bed. The mattress yields slowly and supports you evenly. Your feet rest on the woven mat. The room's warmth gathers around your shoulders. From here, the window is a low blue rectangle beneath the green eaves, and the amber line below the door remains steady. You may take one comfortable breath, without asking it to be deeper than it wants to be. The mild scent of clean flax remains in the room. Chamomile is only a warm trace from the kitchen below. The brook moves at its own pace beyond the wall, carrying nothing that needs your care. You turn and bring your legs onto the bed. The cool sheet smooths beneath you. One pillow supports your head. You draw the coverlet over your legs and waist, letting its weight settle wherever it feels comfortable. Warmth begins to gather gradually beneath the linen. From this position, the wooden shuttle appears as a small oak shape in the lamp's circle. The carved bluebell is becoming less distinct. The woven band is farther away, cream against cream, with only its blue rose still visible. Familiar objects need less light. You already know where they are. The brook continues below the window. Its sound arrives in a few softened parts. Water meeting, a smooth stone, a quiet fold around the bank, and the continuous line beneath both. Sometimes one part seems nearer. Sometimes another seems farther away. The current remains steady through every small variation. The leaves move once above the roof, then settle. The boardwalk lamps remain beyond the trees, though only one can be seen. The ground mist stays low among the ferns. The woodland shelter rests at the far end of the path, empty and protected beneath its roof. Every part of the route is safe to leave behind. The dye room holds its muted skeins. Cream, blue, and moss green rest on the shelves in tidy ovals. Covered jars remain stoppered. The basins stand empty. Folded cloths wait near the shallow sink. Nothing there will change until morning, and nothing needs to be pictured in detail. Above that room, the weaving loft has become still. The large loom is secured at the end of a blue line. The small loom rests beneath its pale cloth. Bobbins lie in their drawer. The stool is tucked beneath the frame. The narrow upper pane remains open only enough to let the room breathe. The covered porch faces the brook. Its bench rests against the warm stone wall. One lamp remains low near the door. The farther lamp has been turned down. Bluebells across the water are a single patch beneath the oaks, and the faint mist lies below them without rising. In the kitchen, the round table is clear. The two woven mats remain opposite each other. Blue cups rest beside the sink. The enamel pot keeps no task inside it, only the memory of warmth. The chamomile bowl is covered, the spoon is on its hook, and the lamp is low. The staircase connects that quiet room to this one. Its painted blue line follows each step. The landing lamp remains steady beyond the nearly closed door. No footsteps are needed. The cottage has settled into night, holding its rooms in an easy order from the stone floor to the green roof. Your hands rest wherever they are comfortable. They no longer hold the rail, cup, linen band, or shuttle. Your fingers can loosen against the sheet. Your palms can remain open. The simple work of carrying and making has ended. The coverlet grows warmer. Its linen surface remains lightly textured beneath your fingertips. The pillow holds your head without needing adjustment. If a small movement comes, it can happen in its own time and then become still. No position has to be perfect. The amber lamp is low enough that the far wall has faded into soft shadow. The moss-green rug has become one dark line beside the bed. The window is a patch of blue. The shuttle is a warm wooden shape. The woven band is a pale curve. The room is becoming simpler without becoming unfamiliar. You can let the woodland become less detailed too. Individual bluebells gather into color. Oak trunks become steady vertical shadows. The boardwalk becomes one pale path. The brook becomes a smooth sound. The shelter becomes a small roof at the edge of thought, and then it can rest there without a name. The evening's colors settle together. Blue in the flowers and woven rose, moss green in the roof and rug, amber beside the bed. Their edges soften as the lamp burns lower. Nothing new appears. The same few colors simply grow quieter. The sounds settle as well. Water follows stone. Leaves rest above the roof. The cottage holds a little warmth in its beams. Once in a while, the brook's note changes as water finds another smooth edge, then returns to its rounded murmur. The variation is small enough to become part of the calm. The oak shuttle rests carved side upward. It has marked the entire route and completed its journey. It does not need thread. It does not need to move again tonight. Amber light touches one pointed end while the other fades into shadow. The short linen band hangs beside the window. Its blue lines hold the memory of the loom. Threads opening, shuttle crossing, row settling, and stillness returning. That sequence is finished. The band can remain where it is, light and complete against the cream wall. You have arrived where the path was leading. There is no next room and no further ritual. The shuttle is placed, the band is hung, the cup is empty, and the lamp is low. The rest of the night belongs to the bed beneath the eaves and the brook beyond the wall. One familiar current passes over the stones. Another follows when it comes. The sound reaches you already, softened by ferns, stone, timber, and linen. It moves through the room without disturbing anything, then becomes part of the silence around it. The Bluebell wood remains beneath the deep blue sky. Amber path lamps remain low. The oak boardwalk stays dry above the mist. The cottage windows grow dim one by one, while this small room keeps exactly enough warmth. Your hands are empty. Your feet are supported. Your head rests easily. The coverlet lies across you with an even, comfortable weight. The room asks for nothing more. The brook continues. The leaves are still. The shuttle rests in its cradle. The linen band hangs beside the low window. Beneath the moss-green eaves, the cottage settles around you, quiet and sheltered, through the long and peaceful night.